Good evening, everybody, and welcome here to the Sports Talk Network, specifically here to Steve's Wrestling Ramble here tonight as we will be predicting the Royal Rumble. Obviously, it's been a while. Last time you saw us regards to Survivor Series reacting to the shocking end. When we thought the show was over, then it wasn't because CM Punk had returned that night. But tonight, months later, heading now into 2024, so Happy New Year to everybody. I know I said that on my NFL show because I do that weekly, but here for the wrestling show, since I haven't been here since obviously Survivor Series night. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope everybody had a great New Year's Eve. Didn't get too drunk if you're of age, and otherwise, but had a good time. But yeah, welcome to 2024. We're already 25 days into it. And I know for me, like I said, I'm also now on Spotify. So on Spotify, welcome to search Steve's Wrestling Ramble. Also Talking Packers with Steve. As I go live for that show, talking NFL about all 32 teams each and every week, all the way up to the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl review is the final show for that season for each year for the NFL. And then we don't come back until the week before the NFL draft. But here we got wrestling. So without further ado, we'll be talking about WWE and what is the Royal Rumble. So let's welcome our host of the most, man of the hour, there with his own YouTube channel, his own stuff, his own Royal Rumble pool as well. Hawkeye, as you can see there, Preston. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. This is my first time being on here. Like I said, get a chance to chat with you and chat with your own fan base here. But yeah, so I'm Preston, aka Godzilla Hawk. You can check out my YouTube channel. Like I said, Godzilla Hawk. And like you said, I'm doing my 10th annual Royal Rumble contest. So the draft's already been taken care of. Steve over here is actually taking part of the contest. He is number 10. So basically, his is probably going to be similar where, whatever number participant you get, whatever number you get and that wrestler comes out, that's who you got to root for. And if your guy wins in either the men's or women's, then you basically get to pick a live reaction I do for that night. So to specify, so if you win the women's, you could pick a match for me to do night 1, and then men's night 2, anything except for the Logan Paul stuff, which if you don't know, we can talk about a little bit later during the Rumble stuff. If we have any discussions about that, I can kind of clear up about that. But we're here just to talk about wrestling. I'm here as the guest, and we're just here to basically shoot the stuff and just talk about all this fun and also very controversial and very newsworthy news the last few days.
I mean, amazing and wild stuff in regards to news and notes in regards to pro wrestling, right? Not just WWE, but we're going to start obviously in the WWE world, the WWE universe, that's called. New allegations, new lawsuit against Vince McMahon. And to be quite honest, I don't really want to go into detail what it is. People could find that on Google. Won't be that hard to find. Find it on social media, Google, whatever. Do whatever you want with that and find it. But it's just unfortunate. For my thoughts on it is like someone that I looked up to all my life, Vince McMahon. I realized to be, wanted to be like in a way, as a business owner. I knew he wasn't perfect because you're gonna have to be sometimes an asshole to become rich and become what he did. But to this point and to this degree, in whatever this, no. And so for me, it's kind of saddening as much as it's gross and bad. It's just saddening for me as a fan, as long as I have since the year of 1994. And know that this stuff's going on, maybe not that far back, but just in general. And it's not just Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, former director of talent operations, Laurinaitis guy, who was part of the Bella family. I didn't hear any updates on divorces happening between Mrs. Bella, but it's just sad, sickening, bad. But it's still something that has to be taken very seriously. They are a publicly traded company, as they have been since 2002. The good and bad, people can talk about that. That's its own conversation. But in regards to this, and now with the TKO, Endeavor WWE merger, becoming TKO group on the stock market, one day it's doing great, goes gangbusters, $20 a stock, because I've been following it. I don't have stock in it, no, but I've been following it. Kind of doing my due diligence, putting fake money in just to see how I would do. but not real money. My point is, you have one day where it's going up because of the news with The Rock, right? The Rock joining the board there for as a WWE representative in the TKO group, and then now to this with Vince McMahon. Just 2 days, mind you, as we know, before the Royal Rumble, and then Brock Lesnar is brought into this mess, and all that. When I was very excited and wanting, and that's something I was going to bring up, in my notes, that one of my surprise entries I really want to see, and would be kind of sad, or not sad, but upset if I don't see Brock Lesnar now. I don't really give two kicks. So,
Yeah.
But I want to get, before I keep rambling on, I want to get your thoughts in regards to this news and anything else you wish to share, and however you care to share.
Yeah. So look, I'll say this. The Vince McMahon news. I'm to kind of keep this channel protected because I don't know how this channel really works. So I'm not gonna go too much detail on the Vince McMahon stuff. Like you said, it's on social media. You can find it. But it's a 60-page lawsuit just on this case alone that involves Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn, John Laurinaitis, and like you said, Brock Lesnar, which is probably the most shocking part. Let's just be honest. The Vince McMahon thing was not shocking, but the stuff that was said and accused and basically proven with actual text messages. This is not there are text messages flat out in this that proves this from him. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but all I'm going to say is this. You read it yourself. It is some of the most shocking, repulsive, downright just evil shit I've ever seen from this guy. And keep in mind, this one lawsuit that was 60 pages long, happened recently. This happened in 2021. This was not even like 10 years ago. This was pretty recently that this happened. That is concerning. And the fact that, and you got to keep in mind, this is not the first time about these NDAs signed. This was going on for decades. Why do you think Vince McMahon was gone? It was the NDAs. And we all said, guys like Saw Monster and everybody else was saying, these were the only ones that we knew about at the time. Now we know this. And someone like Brock Lesnar, who is involved, and again, let's just say it involved texts, it involved certain pictures and promises about contracts. If you want to know more details, you can go right up ahead, but it's repulsive. If that seriously is the case, then Brock needs to be fired. I don't want to hear from anybody because that is disgusting beyond belief. But when it comes to stuff like that, I looked in at guys like Gunther, who, let's be honest, it was more likely to be Gunther and Lesnar probably at WrestleMania. And that was going to be a big deal for Gunther. He's talked about he's always wanted to wrestle Brock Lesnar again in the ring with him. And that would be a big match to do. And now to have that possibly tarnished because of this I feel bad for guys like Gunther because now they get screwed over. It's kind of similar, like you said, when you're part of a tag team, when your tag team partner screws up, it affects you. I mean, like I said, the Hardy Boys for years, we don't need to go that detail, but this is far worse. And I'll say this, and I know this is going to be a little risky on this channel, but I have my firm belief on this because it does involve this. I won't say the exact word, but Vince McMahon basically graped someone, this individual, keep it kind of clean. I'm a firm believer that if you do any sort of that, there's no jail time, it's death penalty. That's why I'm a firm believer, and I'm not going to go too detailed on that because I don't want this to be a full-on negative show. If you want to ask me that personally on my own channel, on Q&A I do eventually, you can ask me that. That's fine. But for here, I want to keep it clean. That's my firm belief. And the fact that not only that this happened, but it involves trafficking with guys like John Laurinaitis, Kevin Dunn, and then Brock Lesnar got involved with phone messages and guarantees. And then it involves bathroom stuff, which again I won't go into, and fingers. You can kind of paint your picture, guys, what I'm talking about. It's repulsive, it's shocking, but at the same time, it's not, because this is Vince McMahon we're talking about, who's been doing stuff like this for years. But the fact that guy is doing this and he's not in his almost in his 80s with other people, it's just I don't understand. I don't understand why this guy is employed. Yes, he doesn't have the creativity power anymore. He's not the owner anymore. But how the hell is this guy now still in the company when we just found out Kevin Patrick was fired? And look, Kevin Patrick was not a great commentator. We all agree he should have been gone from commentary. But we never said anything about him being fired as a whole. We just want him off commentary. But you're willing to fire Kevin Patrick for being a bad commentator, but you're still going to have Vince McMahon roaming around. And this is more serious. This is way worse than some stupid bad commentary gig. Trust me, I know. I was doing commentary for wrestling shows. Okay, I know what I'm talking about. But this is serious stuff. And the fact that guys like John O'Nice, he's already out. Kevin Dunn, he was already gone. He recently got gone. But Vince McMahon is technically still there. He might not have the power that he used to have, but he's still there. And Brock Lesnar is now there, and he's rumored to be coming as surprise entrant in the Rumble. And now this involves him. This company, like you said, is doing great. They got a Netflix deal next year for $5 billion. That's a big deal. You got The Rock coming as a board of directors, which is a great big deal. You got these international shows coming up. Like you said, Elimination Chamber is in Australia. That's huge. You got Berlin coming up. You got Backlash in France. You know, we got Money in the Bank in Toronto, Canada. We got these international stuff. And the company's making money. The company's making lots of money. And the company's having some of the biggest stars. You know, we got guys like Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, McIntyre, Jey Uso, LA Knight, Randy Orton. Just to name a few that are making money for the company, that you got a big enough stars. You don't need part-timers anymore. The company's doing great right now. It's building money. But with stuff like this, it's going to hurt the company. And I don't understand why they keep keeping this guy around when clearly with this stuff out and proof, this should have been the second this happened, gone, fired. No discussion. But the fact that they're now coming up with this excuse of we're going to look and investigate. What is there to investigate? There's nothing to investigate. That proof is right there in 60 pages with text messages. There should not be an investigation. We're I don't understand that. And that's what makes you mad more than anything. This has to be swept up. Brock needs to be fired. I'm sorry. He was involved with this. He needs to be gone. Gone, done. And Vince McMahon, gone, done. He could go to hell. I don't care. He needs to go. We need to move on. We can't focus on this bad press. We can't. I mean, look, and I hate to bring the whole AEW thing up, and I hate this, and I'll go more into it, but the whole CM Punk thing at AEW, regardless how we feel about the whole situation, Tony Khan had to make the move to get rid of Punk. It was just not good for business. I give him some credit for that. So if they're willing to give rid of CM Punk like that, who, let's be honest, the one thing he ever did was get into fights, why can't WWE get rid of a guy who is literally SA a employer and touching them and basically treating them like a sex toy without consent and forcing them to do this stuff, or else they're going to be punished? It's repulsive. I don't understand that. This needs to be taken care of. And I'm sorry, I don't want to hear from any of the Vince McMahon fans. He needs to go. We need to move on. We don't need this negative press. We got the Royal Rumble coming up this Saturday. It should be about, I can't wait for the Rumble. No. Now it's all about Vince. Now it's about, what's TKO going to do? Are they even going to do anything? Is even Brock going to be in the Rumble? If he does, is that going to be bad press now? These should be questioned. These should not be questioned. It should be done, move on. But now we can't even get excited for the Rumble. And I want to talk about the Rumble because we'll go into that later on for prediction stuff like that. But stuff like this is why it makes me mad. It's like this stuff should have been – Vince should have never been back to begin with. The first 9 days he should have been gone, but he bullied his way in. That's what he did. That was our facts. He's in here still now with less power, but he's still there. Now this news comes out. What is your excuse? Get rid of him. Move on. We need to be on a pathway to the uphill. We can't go downhill now because all this is doing now, it's hurting the company. It's a bad image.
You need to
So
push
again,
them out and move forward.
exactly. So without going too far, basically at the end of the day is this. If you want to know more details about it, you can find this story or you can find everything. Again, 60 pages, a lot more details, but I'm warning you, it is really graphic and really disturbing stuff. Like, I'm not exaggerating. It is really, really bad. Like, really bad. And like I said, the only reason I'm not talking about here is one, I don't want to talk about it for too long. We got other stuff we could talk about. And two, I don't know how this channel works. So I don't know. I don't want to worry about him getting in trouble or anything like that. But like I said, it is repulsive stuff. So find the information on Twitter, go on Google, look at yourself. But I'm warning you, it's 60 pages and it's just horrendous. It gets worse and worse and worse, and nobody looks good.
Yeah, you think you're done at one. You think it's really bad at page 12, then you get to page 42 or whatever. Yeah, it just keeps going, and
it's a bad situation. And like I said, something needs to be done. Like, Brock should not be in the Rumble. Let's just be honest. He should not be in there. Vince McMahon needs to be gone. Those are guarantees. Because otherwise, if they're still here within the next week at worst, then these people are dumb. I'm sorry, these people are dumb, because why are you keeping these people around for that long when it's just like, get rid of them?
Yeah.
But again, don't want to drive too much. But if you want to find more information, you can find it. But those are my thoughts. It's embarrassing and repulsive.
Oh, no, I definitely respect that for sure. And in regards to, you were talking about earlier in regards to, just how bad it is in regards to timing up, in regards to the Royal Rumble and 2 days away and all that. And why Vince wasn't pushed out before. Yeah, like you said, he just scurried his way back in, appointed himself as CEO of WWE again, and then so he could make that deal, make that money with Emmanuel from that, interview or whatever, for when they made the announcement, the creation of TKO, really. And then, you kept him on, because he's still Vince McMahon. But now, after this, I think they need to move on, because it's for him, even more so for Brock. It's a bottom line business in regards to stocks and investors, that side of business, and I think it's just encumbersome Emmanuel and other members of the board, which now includes The Rock, and Triple H, of course, and just to be able to move on from that, so that the WWE, in a way, as a family, can heal and can just move on. This is a big black eye for the WWE. As we get to the Royal Rumble, and yes, even if he was pushed out before and this came up, it still would have to be tied in with WWE in a way, because obviously he's a former CEO of WWE, but at least he would have been out, and that would have been his own business, sort of thing. The headlines would still say former WWE CEO Vince McMahon, but at least there he'd be truly former, but here, still being part of the company just makes it worse. He does have to just move on. I know technically by the letter of the law, it is allegations, innocent until proven guilty, all that, in regards to the eye of the law. But from reading, even part of what that is just, it's like you said, it's right there in front of you of what happened. And just surprising also Brock Lesnar part of this, I mean, I know he's, a tough guy sort of thing in real life and stays to his own and all that, but in his Saskatchewan home, but for him to be part of this is confusing and surprising to me in ways. So it's just unfortunate in that way. Because I sent my friend a text message just to show him, because he's in and out, he has a family and all that. Yeah. But and then he was telling me, he sent me a text back just saying, "What the heck's going on over there?" Yeah, I know it's not like what's going on over there. There's more of a Vince McMahon issue than a WWE company issue worldwide. So it's sad. It was I'm looking here at a tweet shared from my buddy Corey, regards to a spokesman for Vince McMahon initiating a statement on his behalf in that regard, about fighting it, and all that, and doing that. This lawsuit is repealed with lies, obscene made-up instances that never occurred, and vindictive dissertation of the truth. He will vigorously defend himself. So we just gotta let the law do its course, and go from there in regards to the lawsuit, in regards to everything, and either way, like you said, I think Vince McMahon needs to go. And I think, to be quite honest, in regards to making that move, not only happening today, but if they really want to make the move, make it Saturday morning, so it'd be tomorrow morning. I almost said Sunday morning. I'm almost like Gunther saying Sunday, but Saturday morning, tomorrow morning, and before the Rumble, because I'll bet you any money the fans will be chanting stuff during the show. Different takeover of it, so not in a good way. And again, this happening before, the Royal Rumble, and like you said, a Vince McMahon of 2022 or whatever you said, 2021, 2022, then Vince McMahon of the past of 2002, 1998 or something coming way out of the woodwork, that someone wanted to speak up, which, hey, respect that, but I'm just saying, it's not that. It's not the young Vince McMahon of doing this stuff. It's a now Vince McMahon, it's just crazy in many, many ways. But yeah, I just wanted to read that just from, the other side of the coin, in regards to that. And we have to wait and see. And like I said, hopefully maybe we'll see breaking news tomorrow morning when we wake up. Or, when we wake up, that broke overnight, or something like a 2 a.m. notification. But anyways, it's something that has to do with Vince and Brock, and they were able to, they had no problem doing that to Laurinaitis. He was the scapegoat at that time, and just firing him and let him go. And now Kevin Dunn just leaving like a shadow in the wind, just in general. But yeah, it's just unfortunate in regards to the going on here. And like I said, for me in the beginning, saddening just because of the Vince McMahon that I grew up in love as a character and even as a person. Championing him, against those when he had to go to court way back when. I remember with him and the neck brace and all that. With that situation and being on Team Vince and that stuff, but now with this stuff, no. But anyways, yeah, but in regards to happy news, like you said, The Rock, joining the board and him getting full ownership of the Rock trademark. So Dwayne Johnson being The Rock, so that's pretty cool. As we head into the Royal Rumble itself, separate to the Vince McMahon news, what would be your excitement level for the Royal Rumble show itself, for what we have on paper right now with the 4 matches?
For me, probably maybe 8, because it probably would be higher if one match was not included. Now we could go over, explain why later if one match never existed, and then maybe they add another match, which I always thought was weird. Anyway, why is only 4 matches when usually when it's a Rumble, it's usually at least 5? That's always just kind of weird. So unless there's something big going to be happy, or the Rumble matches itself are even going to be even longer. But when it comes to Rumble itself, it's always one of, as a wrestling fan, it's one of your favorite times of the year. It's one, for some people, it's their favorite show of the year.
Right.
And for someone like me who's done this contest, like I said, for 10 years now, it's a lot of fun because you don't know who's going to show up, you don't know who's going to win, and that's again what I kind of like about at least like the men's Revolt, because obviously the obvious winners are Cody and Punk, but you also got now Gunther in the Wigs. Drew McIntyre could be a win, could be a surprise. Again, and we don't even know the surprise entrances that could be in there. Of course, unfortunately, I hate seeing this, but Brock could have been a favorite. But obviously, with this stuff now, obviously, you may never know what's going to happen. But then even like the women's one, honestly, like Becky Lynch and Bayley are the favorites. But I won't go into many details about possible surprise entrances, but there are a lot of speculation of who could show up, who could return, and stuff like that. So for the Rumble, it's always exciting. But like I said, really, the 4 Rumble matches are obviously the 2 Rumble matches are the matches I'm looking forward to. The other 2 matches are one I'm not interested in seeing, and the other one is just kind of predictable. But that doesn't mean that's going to be a bad match. But again, Rumbles are always usually exciting either way. So I'm still looking forward to it. I'm still looking forward to doing a live reaction for both Rumbles, which I will be doing on my YouTube channel. We'll go over that later.
Mhm.
But I'm always looking forward to Rumble because, like I said, I love the Rumble. I love doing the contest and seeing who gets who and seeing the excitement and stuff like that. Like I said, you may never know who you get. You could get Cody Rhodes or you could get Akira Tozawa. We'll see what happens.
Right. Or I could get a special entrant Diesel or something. Yeah, you never know. It could be
Yeah,
whoever.
exactly. Oh my God!
You
I
know,
swear, if you get Brock Lesnar, I'll apologize.
I was
I'll
like, oh,
apologize right here, right now. If that happens, I will say I'm sorry.
I mean, you're
But
22. You're sitting good on my Rumble pool, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, even 22 though, as much as that's great and better than 10, sometimes you do get a R-Truth at 22. No disrespect to R-Truth, but I'm just saying.
But no, that's what I'm saying. That, like I said last year, and I made history. A guy from my work who into the Rumble, he was number one. He was the runner-up in the men's, and then he won the women's. So
Mhm.
like I said, it all depends on just who you get. You can have a terrible number, but then you
Mhm.
ultimately win. But but that's what I like about the Rumble.
Mhm.
It's just fun, especially the contest makes it more fun and stuff like that. But like I said, overall,
Yeah.
I'm still looking forward to the Rumble. So like I said, if you want to talk about predictions or anything like that, I'm all for it. But yeah, like I said, I'm still looking for the Rumble, especially hanging out with my best friend Brandon, Captain Asshole. If you guys seen him,
Mhm.
you know what I'm talking about. So he'll be there watching. That's always his favorite time of year and stuff like that. He'll also be in a contest. So
Yeah. I mean, I guess also to ask you. I mean, I know we will get into the predictions, but just general conversation here. You said you've done that for 10 years. I've done it for like 6. Um, but for you personally, um, what made you want to start doing it 10 years ago?
easy. It was the well, I don't know if you remember them or if you were around that time, but the Wrestling Gurus. It was Mitch and
Mm,
Jared. If you remember them, they did the Royal Rumble contest first. They're the ones that really popularized it.
mhm,
And then after they started doing it, and I became best friends with Mitch and Jared and all them later on, I was like, I have my YouTube channel. I was like, I'm going to do live reactions as well. That's the live reactions I used to do with were in honor of the Wrestling Gurus. It was point blank, overreactions and hatred and happiness. Some of it was genuine. Some of it was like, 11, bounce to
yeah,
11, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of whole point tribute. But that was the Rumble contest. It was basically, I liked the concept and I did. And then after they retired from YouTube, I just continue basically doing that because one, it's paying homage to them, which were some of my favorite YouTubers at the time, and now they're best friends of mine, and they're both in the contest. And two, it's just a fun concept for just something fun,
Mhm.
and it's just something that kind of kept traditional. And a lot of my fans on YouTube look forward to it every year. It's usually the one thing that a lot of people look forward to is the Rumble contest. Regardless if it's for a prize or for like say me doing a reaction or something, or just for fun.
Mhm.
And just kind of, it's just a nice little thing to get me to do and stuff like that. So really, it was all thanks to the Wrestling Gears. It was all thanks to Mitch and Jared. And without them, there probably wouldn't be a Rumble contest. But I do it in memory in homage to them, and then because I personally just enjoy it myself.
Awesome. Yeah. And for me, it was kind of because of you, seeing your video once randomly for a Rumble prediction, years ago, or not prediction, but for the contest and whatnot,
Yeah.
promoting it, um, and then thought, hey, maybe I should do that. As I try to build my brand and show build my show. And
Yeah.
at the time, it was not even on YouTube yet, but part of a different network, and I was part of the
Yeah.
Red Light Sports Network at the time. But just trying to see, a way in regards to branding and whatnot for me, and thought it'd be great, interacting with people. And I met a lot of great people that have joined my contest,
Yeah.
and even some, I guess, special guests in a sense that were part of it too. Because one year, um, Solid Monster, I was part of his, on Facebook.
Oh, it's
Um,
like a private group chat.
yeah, for his, and then he
Yeah.
joined. He said it was okay to have him for mine for one year. So in mine and whatnot. But the point is like just those little interactions and whatnot, and be able to um, get to know content creators and whatnot of different ilk and different backgrounds, and that's we are our own, we are a community, we're a family in a way. I support everybody, whether they're specifically WWE talk or specifically AEW talk or whatever, whatever they are, I respect it, and I always try to support it as much as I can and all that. with views and tweets. Um, but yeah, so in regards to your contest, and then joining it, and being part of it as well, and trying to continue to do so. So I appreciate that. Beyond you sharing that with me that you were doing that, I always have my um, notifications on for your channel, so I was ready for whenever it was going to drop, and then just share that I want to be in. But beyond that, so I always enjoy what you do in that regard for the Rumble pool. But yeah, Rumble pools are fun. Yes, there's some that you can join for actual cash value, big prize value, whatnot value. But for me and for Preston, it's for a fun thing. Like for me, I was very lucky in regards to growing my fan base. I had 120 people sign up, so I have 6 pools, or well, more than 120. I had 6 pools. So what will happen is, let's say 22 does win. Let's say that is CM Punk, and CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble. That means 6 people will then be entered into a specific contest, or not contest, but Tumblr randomizer thing, and then I'll pick a winner through the randomizer, the official winner. So you'll be the winner of your pool, of your bracket in a way, but then overall put them together, and then we'll have an official winner for the Rumble pool here, the Ramble. So the winner for my Rumble, I forgot to tweet out, but I'll just share here and there, is that if you do win overall, you get to have 1 full year of open invite to be on a podcast. Also, welcome to give definitely suggestions that I have to do in regards to topics and whatnot, to a point. But topics, whether you want me to talk about a specific wrestler, about my thoughts on something that happened in the past, or whatnot, whatever you want. And also the right to be able to run my internal handle. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes, and I look forward to whoever does win for my Rumble pool. But it's great that we both do that and be able to have fun with that. But yeah, anyways, yeah, we're heading into the Royal Rumble. We're heading into the 2024 Royal Rumble. My final question before we actually get into predictions to you is, what is your personal favorite of all time Royal Rumble?
You know what? It's always taught, because it's weird to me, because if you were to ask me any match, like to say New Japan or maybe even TNA, stuff like that, I'd be able to answer. But because of WWE, I never had like a favorite pay-per-view or favorite match. And Royal Rumble has always been flip-flops. But I can tell you kind of some of my personal favorites. Now, spoiler, it's not the 1992 Royal Rumble. I know a lot of people love that. I never grew up with it. I watched it twice. It just personally didn't do anything for me. But again, it's a different era, so it's still
generational. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Guys, the Saw Monster, we'll talk about. I mean, you've heard it talk about every freaking time,
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, like for some of my favorite personal Rumbles, like I think 2001 was a really great one. 2002 was really good. Honestly, the main event, eliminating Undertaker, is my personal favorite. 2004 was one of my personal favorites. Despite I know the winner and whatnot, we won't go into detail about that, but that was one of my personal favorites. I would say 2007 was another great one they did when that was the one Undertaker won. Then you had let's see, it was I think 2016 was one of ones that I really felt like was a great one again. It kind of brought back the Rumble thing. 2018 was another fun one they did, and then 2020 was a very different style Rumble when the Brock Lesnar was in there. But it was done such a great way that looking back at it, it was kind of fun. So I would say those would be my personal favorites, and either one of these Rumbles could be my favorites as well. I mean, we look at the star power so far, it's on the Rumblings. I'm not going to say any rumors or anything like that, or even into predictions, unless you really want me to. But if any of these predictions are any potential spoilers could happen. We could be seeing one of the best men's Rumbles and maybe even the best women's Rumble. It all just depends how it's booked and how the matches go. And like I said, I have faith with Triple H. He's done so far a very good job. Hopefully we don't get another like 2015 or even 2022 Royal Rumble. And we get more like we got last year and, with this year. So I would say those are just at least some of my personal favorites on top of my head. But like I said, yeah, it's hard to kind of rate them for me because I might like one, but then I might watch another one like, oh, I really like that one a little bit more. So they're all equally great for me personally for all different reasons.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, kind of same here, and I kind of also judge it like which ones would I wouldn't mind, rewatching over and over again, on a loop sort of thing, just in general. This past weeks, heading into the Royal Rumble, been watching some past ones that are on Peacock, and especially even, with the late '90s into the 2000s.
Yeah.
I do always say though, WrestleMania 2000 underrated, but Royal Rumbles, I would say that, I think my favorite all time will be the 1999 Royal Rumble, and the 2003 Rumble. So I think those two would be my favorite all time, 1 and 2. And then I just enjoyed, obviously, with the with the recent ones, with the women's one, the inaugural one they had a couple years ago. So, that first ever. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it all goes down, right? For the next one, for the 2024 men's and women's Royal Rumble. I hope it does start and end the show. You start with the men's or women's, end with the men's or women's.
Thank you. You read my mind, especially with 4 matches. Like I said, unless if you're going to end the match with a 4-way, then clearly there's going to be a big angle afterwards, like they did with Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. The only reason they did that in the main event was because of the Sami Zayn thing. That was it. That was the big moment. So unless something big's going to happen, you might as well start with the women's and then you just end with the men's Rumble. Because out of that, I don't see why you want to put the Universal title match in the main event. And I agree. It's all, and like I said, this is something that you've learned, but this is something I've learned in the wrestling business. It's all about, match scheduling, or what you want to call it, match placement. That can play a big factor in a lot of things. You don't want to have too many of the same thing kind of too close. It'll burn you out. You need to have, okay, we're going to have a Rumble. Okay, but now let's have a couple of breather matches. Okay, maybe do time match and then we'll do the Rumble last. It kind of makes some space because you don't want to do it too close. But like I said, with 4 matches now, I don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, SmackDown's tomorrow. They can always add another match. It's very possible. So that way it'd be easier to do a women's. Then you have your 3 matches, and then you do your men's Rumble. You get a lot more of a breathe, like a sandwich, basically. But with 4 matches, it's going to be a little bit harder because you're going to have an hour-long Rumble. You're going to have 2 other title matches, and then immediately another Rumble. So there has to be something else out there because otherwise I just feel like the fans are going to get burned out very quick, even though these pay-per-views now are usually now 3 hours, maybe slightly more now with Triple H. It kind of keep it like a takeover hours now. So, but I agree with you 100%. I've always felt like match placement is very important in business. Like I said, as someone that learned that in the business, that's very important because that could either make a crowd or kill a crowd, and that can affect the show. So I agree with you on that cold-heartedly.
What would you think? I mean, because you're talking about if there could be a match added on SmackDown, let alone, pre-show or social media, right? A tweet of a match being announced or being official. But like, I'm just trying to rack my head, man, and I don't know. Well, maybe a tag team title match. But I'm just trying to think, like, what exactly in regards to a match beyond just throwing something on there. But it also has to make sense. Like, what do you think would be a match that you think that could be added? Like, I'm just trying to think, like, yeah, I should have a 5th match, but what would it be?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly thought, like I said, one of the things that kind of shocked me, there's no women's championship matches. You only have the women's Rumble, but there's no Io Sky, there's no Rhea Ripley, and the women's tag team titles are being defended on SmackDown. I'm like, Aren't you like 24 hours away from a tag team title match? Like, you could easily put that on a show. And I know, unfortunately, they would get kind of the short end of the stick. They wouldn't get a lot of time. But, at least they're on the show. And, I mean, they're going to, let's be honest, all those women are probably going to be on that Rumble match anyway. Just have them pull double duty and have them give them a little bit of a break. I know that sucks. That's kind of mean, but at least you can kind of get a little bit of a breather. At least it gets them on the show at least. But like I said, I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll get like the Pride Lashley's group versus Kieran Cross's group, 6-man tag. That can always be a possibility. I know they're doing a big face-off on SmackDown. Maybe that they're going to set up a big match at the Royal Rumble, especially if most of them are going to be in the Rumble as well. Again, double duty, it's not far-fetched. But like I said, it's very weird that they're only doing 4 matches. Usually they do 5. So either, like I said, they're going to do something last minute on SmackDown. We'll find out tomorrow, or maybe it's just going to be 4 matches, and maybe they'll have a segment, or I don't know. I don't know what will happen, but it's just like I said, it's just weird to have a Rumble pay-per-view only have 4 matches. When genuinely speaking, when it's a 3-hour one, they usually have 5 matches, and it's weird to be doing 4. So again, those are just some predictions, but like I said, we might not get any matches. I don't know. Right. Besides those 2 matches I just named, I can't think of anything else. I'm on the same boat with you. So, and we're just gonna have to play by ear.
And it wouldn't make sense, like, to me. Well, then again, never mind. Because I was gonna say like a number 1 contender match, but that's what the Rumble is itself. But so no battle royals or anything else because you got the 2 Rumbles itself. So. Yeah, I don't know in regards to just throwing something to the wall. To be able to be a 5th match, it might, like you said, be segments and, backstage stuff. Maybe we'll have a Rock Triple H interaction or something backstage again, like we did on that SmackDown a while ago. Yeah, heading into a WrestleMania season, but this one being a little bit different, and I'm sure they know what they're going to be doing in regards to that, and how they're going to place everything and make it work, and I'm sure it'll end up being fine. But yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting. And what also is interesting is seeing people's predictions of who's going to be surprised coming back, whether coming back from injury, coming back in general, returning. With superstars that are rumored to be signing with WWE, and all that. What could and can happen. So. Like for you, in regards to the men's and women's Royal Rumble, now we can dive into it right now. Who do you think can be some great surprise returns, or just maybe even debuts coming to the company in the Rumble?
Well, let's get those one out of the way so people don't get confused. Guys, Okada is not going to be in the Rumble. Okay, let's get that out of the way. He's not going to be done until the 31st of January. And he's already agreed to a few other shows after in February. So he's not going to be in the Rumble. So don't be disappointed when he doesn't show up. It ain't going to happen. That doesn't mean he's not coming to WWE. He's just not going to be in the Rumble. Because if he came in sooner, that would be a great shot. But he ain't coming in. So get that out of the way. One I could definitely see that actually is now a free agent is Andrade. He could be definitely surprising. He's a free agent now, I believe, unless something happened. I believe he can go anywhere he wants. He could definitely. I think I'm going to say this. I think that's going to be one of the surprises that are going to be in the men's Rumble. I think the reason we haven't heard about him is I think that he's already signed with WWE. Obviously, his wife works there, so obviously, and she clearly had probably say bring him in. Super talented individual, was not doing a lot, but then was kind of doing something. Then they just kind of cut it short, stuff like that. We won't get into controversies about that, but he's pretty much gone now. I could see Triple H being like, okay, we're going to bring him back as a free agent, or we'll keep him as a surprise instead, and he'll return to Rumble, which is always a great place for Rumble anyway. Usually it's full of surprises. It debuts and returns. So I think Andrade will be, in terms of men, will be one. Again, before this new stuff, and again, we'll see what happens. Obviously, Brock Lesnar would have been one. Is pretty much an obvious one. But like I said, now with the news, we won't go back to that. We don't know what that's going to affect now on him or possibly his placement at WrestleMania, but he was going to maybe a possibility. I was going to say this is a surprise, but it looks like he's already going to be in it because they've already teased it, like Carmelo Hayes. he's already teased about he wants to be on the Rumble. He was going to probably be one of my predictions anyway, being it. I'll say somebody like a Braun Breaker, I think could be in the Rumble as an NXT surprise, kind of giving that main roster rub. And another name that I've kind of heard low key about, and I know he said that he's not going to, but again, it's wrestling. I can see X-Pac. I think X-Pac might be one as well. You've some rumblings, but you've heard from him. I'm not going to be in the Rumble, but how many times have you heard, guys at Edge said, like, I'm not in Stamford, and, I'm not cleared or anything like that. Then look what happened. He returned to the Rumble. So it's very possible we could see X-Pac finally make his return to WWE on a wrestling show and make a spot in the Rumble. So those would be sound like the men I can see, like in terms of the men's side of things. Women's, I think, is more interesting. I think the women's is probably going to be the most unpredictable because there's a lot more rumors and speculation. With the men, you could kind of figure out, okay, who. Women are a few that can return easily, and then there's a few that now with certain teases and stuff like that could actually make appearances. Honestly, one of them would actually be my third person to actually win the Women's Rumble would be Liv Morgan. I think she would be like that dark horse. I think she's guaranteed coming back. I'd see someone like Alexa Bliss and maybe even Carmella both coming back. Now they're back from paternity leave. They just had their kids. I think they should be back. I know Alexa Bliss would more likely be back. I know Carmella said she was having hard feeling in her leg, so hopefully she's doing okay. She's healthy in that. So if she's ready to go, I can see her coming back. But I would say more likely Alexa Bliss. I can see someone like Tiffany Stratton make her main roster Royal Rumble debut. Maybe she actually gets called up to the main roster. Guys, if you've even heard this, I even suggested this as well. Like kind of in my mind, not videos, but guys I saw Monster say I agree with. Bianca Belair is a big marquee name. Obviously, it might have been her and Charlotte, but Charlotte now unfortunately gone at the moment. What are you gonna do with Bianca Belair? Well, why not have her do a program with like Tiffany Stratton? Give Tiffany Stratton kind of push, give her like a big push because clearly they see stuff in Tiffany Stratton and she's not just some pretty face. Like she can go. She's clearly getting better in the ring. She kind of reminds me a little bit of a Mandy Rose, someone who was obviously like a blonde model and stuff like that, but really was very improved in the ring. Except Tiffany, I think, has improved a lot more in the ring than Mandy is, and that's no disrespect to her. But you can tell that Tiffany Stratton definitely has that it factor, but obviously, she can work a little bit more. She's still kind of green in some spots, but I can still see her make an appearance in the Women's Rumble. One name that we have not heard about in a while, and when I say this is not a main roster call-up. This is not a main roster full-time thing. This will just be a one-time main roster Royal Rumble match. That's just a guarantee. I can see Jade Cargill being a surprise entrant easily. Again, she won't win. She's not going to be called up main roster. I think she should stay in NXT, really own her crap because, you take a look at the woman, like she's going to be a star. There's no doubt about it. But clearly she always needed to work on her wrestling. And I think with that performance center, I think that is good for her. And I think she needs to stay there longer. But why not have her give her a spot in the Rumble? She eliminates a few people, kind of get her noticed, And then that could be kind of a start like, okay, this is what this woman's capable of, and she could be back on NXT. Because like I said, something like Tiffany Stratton could be called up. You need somebody to take her place. Why not somebody like Jade Cargill at that point? Who say Jade Cargill can't be the one to throw or Valkyrie over on NXT. She becomes NXT Women's Champion. I can see that happening this year. But Jade Cargill's one. The other one, the really big one, you've already heard this. You know where I'm going with this. The one that everybody, and I mean every single person wants. I will not kid you because I'll be on doing live reactions. If she comes out, I will be jumping up and down like a little schoolgirl. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I will do that. AJ Lee. Like AJ Lee is the obvious big one. We've heard the teases and all of that. And obviously, when it comes to AJ Lee, it's always like it's something we've always wanted, but we're never forgetting. It's always like CM Punk. Will he come back to WWE? No, he's not. He's not coming back to WWE. And now, obviously, look at Punk. 10 years, he's back now. AJ Lee, could she come back for a Rumble spot? I think so, too. With Punk back and all that, why not have at least one more run? if she's coming, let's be honest. If AJ is going to be in the Rumble, she's going to be number 30. they're going to save her for the very last because she's going to get the biggest pop, possibly depending on, like I said, Sasha Banks and all that. But I'm not including Sasha only because we don't know her position or whatnot. She rumors she could go AEW, so I'm not putting Sasha Banks in that. Only she would probably be in AJB, will probably get the biggest reactions. And actually, speaking of returns, another one I will say would be Trinity Naomi. I think she's in WWE. Now, with her deals up with TNA, and she's already been rumored to come back to, WWE now. This is the perfect place for her to come back, make her return the Rumble. And I said Rumble's always the perfect place for returns, stuff like that, like you said. So that, and another name I'll actually throw out, and someone kind of actually might have spoiled it as well, was Caitlyn. Caitlyn, her gear kind of got leaked. Somebody got leaked, supposedly wrestling gear, new wrestling gear for Caitlyn. So that could be maybe a spoiler that she might return in the Royal Rumble. We haven't seen her since the Mae Young Classic, I believe. So it's been a while. And, having her being a Rumble would be kind of cool. And who knows, maybe AJ and Caitlyn can have a little moment again. That'll be kind of cool for back in the day. I've always liked Caitlyn, and, I always thought she was very underrated. So that would be kind of cool. But that's what I'm saying. I think in terms of the Women's Rumble, I'm looking for more towards as a match, it's the Men's Rumble. But as terms of surprises, I think it's more for the women because there's so many names that are rumored that should be coming back, that could be signing deals, stuff like that. I think that's what makes it more exciting. And that's what I kind of miss about the Rumbles in general, just the more excitement, like, oh, look at all these free agents, look at these people that might be coming back from injury or their pregnancies, that they can return, and that would be a great time because we can use a lot of these women coming back, especially on the Raw side. Or let's be honest, if it ain't Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley, who he really got on the Raw women's roster, not to say they're bad or anything, well, except for maybe Nia Jax, but besides that, anybody else, they're talented, but they're nowhere near the top of the level at that moment. I mean, Shayna Baszler could have been, but she's now stuck in a tag team with Zoe Stark. Natalia's a veteran. She doesn't need to be in the women's top picture ever again. She's been there forever. Let her do her own thing, tag team division. Candice already stuck down there, unfortunately. Xia Li looked like she was getting Q10 now. I don't know what happened to her. Nikki Cross, she's gone. I don't know where she went. But we could definitely get some more depth on the Raw women's division. I think this Women's Rumble could be a start for that. But, I would say those would be kind of like my predictions for at least returns and debuts and stuff like that for the women's and men's overall.
Yeah. I mean, in regards to the women's and men's, pretty much copy and paste what he said in regards to who I think should be in there. I kind of was wishing that this whole Okada thing could have happened earlier, but maybe they'll still even with it being like January, they'll hold it and he'll make a surprise debut at WrestleMania like Cody did 2 years ago. But yeah, still it'll still be big, but just won't be at the Rumble. It'll be at Mania, which is the biggest show of all, as it should be. So
yeah.
But in regards to the Rumble and everything, I think the one I would enjoy the most in regards to the men's Rumble being a return, if it could happen, would be Big E if he's cleared.
Yeah, he'll get a massive pop, especially they're in Florida. He's from Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm,
he's going to get like a Stone Cold reaction. He's going to get cheered. People are going to be crying. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be great. Like, no doubt about it. 100% agree. If he shows up, he's going to be the biggest baby face in that Rumble. Everyone's going to want to see him win.
No matter what number he's at, whenever if he comes back, and then for the women, and for the women, my number one that I really do want to see in regards to a return or whatever, blah blah blah, is Alexa Bliss. That's who I'm a big fan of. Yeah, also Carmella, but Alexa Bliss even more so. So if she comes back for the Rumble, and just because someone comes back from an injury, from a maternity leave, from whatever, does not, or even from NXT, right, does not automatically mean they're being called up or truly returned. They could just be back for that night, and then go back to rehab, motherhood, or whatever they were doing for said superstar or back to NXT. for said superstar. So it could mean a call up, which is cool, but doesn't always automatically mean that. So I'm just sharing that just in general. But I think it's going to be fun, whoever does show up, in regards to surprises, let alone, guarantees from the roster, men's and women's side of things. And from what we see and how things have been built for the men's and women's Royal Rumble, I would say there's a handful of men and a handful of women that probably have the best odds to win it. More so for the women than the men, in my opinion. But either way, it's going to be still going to be entertaining. It's going to be fun. Still watch the whole thing of the Rumble matches. But because sometimes the Rumble itself tells its own story and interactions, right? So, and I think it's going to be entertaining. But in regards to predictions, let's start with the women. Start with the women's Royal Rumble match. We already gave in regards to our predictions and thoughts in regards to surprises and whatnot. But officially, putting it here on the record on air. Hey man, what do you think? Who do you see? Whether it's your prediction or top three, however you wish to do so, in regards to predicting the winner for the women's Royal Rumble match.
And this will go to number two, the men's Rumbles. It's literally going to come down to two people. Same thing with the men's. It's either going to be Bayley or Becky Lynch. It's just a matter of who's going to be the one to win the Rumble, and the other one's probably going to win the Chamber. So it's just a matter of which one is going to actually win the Rumble, which one will then win the Chamber in Australia. And like I said, it's tough because, like I said, it could go either way. Like I said, Bayley, Becky Lynch will obviously go to WrestleMania. That's clearly their respective plans. It's just a matter of who's winning the Rumble first, who's going to get that chance first. And I'm going to say Bayley overall is going to win the Women's Rumble. I think she is the on-top favorite. I think she's going to win. They're going to kind of do a little bit of a tease where she's going to face Rhea like she's claimed to do. But then obviously we know Damage Control's using her, or they're going to turn back on her and now get Bayley to change her mind. That's obviously where the story's going. It's going to be Bayley Io Sky at the end of the day. That's what's going to happen. And we're obviously getting Becky and Rhea. So then why not just have Becky win the women's chamber match to face Rhea? So I think that's what they're going to do. They could do it vice versa too. Yeah, I'm not going to complain, but I would rather at least see somebody who's never won a Rumble, and that being Bayley. So I would probably prefer Bayley, and that I'm going to stick with Bayley being my overall prediction. But obviously number two will be Becky Lynch by default. So, but Bayley's my number one.
Yeah, I agree with regards to that 1 and 2. There could be some other, who knows, could be winning. But for me, officially, I'm going to be predicting Bayley as well. I think Bayley's going to be winning the Royal Rumble. However this end of Damage Control thing goes for her, however that's booked, whether it's during the Rumble, before the Rumble, or after. But, seeing a baby face turn for Bayley coming up in the future, and it'd be fun to see her as a face again. She did very well as a heel. And it might not have believed it 100% when it started. But he really has grown on her own there. Kind of like Dominic Mysterio on the male side in regards to how he started, wondering, is he really going to make it in the WWE? His family name can only take him so far. But then that turn, and now part of Judgment Day, it's like a whole new person, and, can't barely talk because of the fans and all that, just that heel heat, and just, doing a great job, so. They both have. So, but for the women's side, like I said, Bayley be my prediction to be the winner. But it's going to be a fun one, and wherever and however it goes, I'm sure there'll be somewhat of surprises going on beyond what we're predicting of surprises. But yeah, so let's go into the United States title match. We got Logan Paul, Kevin Owens. One-on-one here. I guess I'll just do mine quickly and just say Logan Paul's going to be retaining. He might even hold this title even after WrestleMania, in my opinion. But at least here to the Rumble, Logan Paul going to be defeating Kevin Owens and being a good win for Logan, a clean win. But I'm sure Logan will get hit with a stunner, but might even kick out. Either way, I'm going for Logan Paul to successfully retain his United States Championship. What say you?
I'm going to keep this short, sweet. If you watch my show, you know how I feel about Logan Paul. I'm not going to watch this match. This will be my bathroom break. I've already made a point. I'm not talking about or watching anything Logan Paul related. I'm boycotting it. But this is the easiest prediction besides the four-way. Logan Paul's going to win. He's going to retain somehow doing something dirty tactic. He's going to go on to WrestleMania, unfortunately. And my prediction for that is he's going to fight LA Knight. And LA Knight will take the title from him from there. But I can't stand Logan Paul. I hate him as a human being. I hope he gets fired. But I can't. I have no power over that. That's up to WWE. It is what it is. Just Logan Paul's wins. That's it. I move on. Yeah.
Yeah, talking about moving on. Yeah, we have this four-way match, but still does have LA Knight part of it. With LA Knight, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and of course the champion, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, defending his title. I think we both are going with Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
To win this match. But for you, who do you see eating the pin or taking the L?
I mean, I don't know about the L. I mean, to me, I guess maybe. And I guess it just depends on what they're going to do with everybody at the WrestleMania. I mean, honestly, LA Knight, I already gave my prediction. I think it's going to be him and Logan Paul. And LA Knight's already taking a pinfall loss from Roman. I can see him getting the one, take it full. And then after that, it just depends on what they want to do, I guess, with AJ and Orton at that point at WrestleMania. Because right now, there's no obvious stuff for them at WrestleMania. But we could talk about that another time. But I'll say LA Knight just to say bet. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's someone like AJ Styles. Mm-hmm. But either way, it doesn't matter because any day Roman Reigns is retained. I mean, he ain't dropping that title until at least WrestleMania. And if he doesn't drop the title WrestleMania 40, he won't drop until WrestleMania 41. Mm-hmm. That's just unfortunate.
But yeah, I think for me, predict to be LA Knight. But wouldn't be surprised if it's AJ Styles. I don't think it'll be Orton taking the pin. But either way, like I said, in the end, it's just going to be Roman Reigns winning, heading into WrestleMania as a champion. And then we go from there, and hopefully, Cody can finish his story then. If that is going to be the match there, and we go from there at that point. But yeah, anyways, already to the fourth match. That is the men's Royal Rumble match. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. Like I said, we already shared in regards to predictions, in regards to surprises, regards to predictions. Will it be Cody? Will it be CM Punk? Will it be Gunther? Who could it be? Could it be Drew? They've been doing well in regards to, weaving each other. Everybody, at least with Punk and just in general in regards to building up this men's Royal Rumble. So I commend them on that. And it's highly anticipated for that reason beyond its regular reason. For my prediction, I'm gonna go with Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes is gonna be winning the Royal Rumble. I think he's gonna be doing what Austin did, what Hogan did way back in the day, and winning 2 in a row. Being part of that history. I know they show the graphic up for it, like it was like it was an NFL stat graphic. But I'm gonna go with Cody Rhodes to get the win. CM Punk will still find his way to face Seth Rollins. Maybe he'll win a chamber match or something. However they book that. But I think it's gonna be Cody Rhodes. I think the final four will be. Excuse me. My prediction for the final four will be Cody Rhodes. Will be CM Punk. Will be probably Jey Uso, and then last, certainly but not least, Gunther. In regards to my prediction for the final four, maybe there could be a surprise. I mean, remember 1 year in the end, it was the final two was Alberto Del Rio and Santino Marella. So, but either way, that's my prediction in regards to the men's and being who's going to be the final four. I don't really have a prediction for the final four for the women, so we don't need to go backtracking. But for you, what do you say? Who do you say to be the winner for the men's 2024 Royal Rumble match?
I mean, the answer is very obvious. To win the men's Rumble, clearly it's going to be Akira Tozawa. I mean, this guy's been on fire. This guy is just entertaining. This guy is making money, and all that stuff. Okay, in all seriousness, it's not a criticism. Look, Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, it's guaranteed one of them. Cody Rhodes is obviously going to be one or two, depending on how you look at it. The more I'm going to say CM Punk. I think CM Punk is going to win. I think he's going to win his first Rumble. And I think somehow Cody's going to find his way to get that Universal title match with Roman Reigns, maybe in the Chamber. Someone suggested, like I said, in the mailbag with Saw Monster, doing something like a Chamber where everyone's been wronged by the bloodline. So that gives them like a mixed Raw and SmackDown. That could be like Cody's way of winning. Obviously, Cody was winning the Rumble make more sense because I was just giving that leeway, like, oh, okay, I won the Rumble, I can choose any title match I want, and it's logical that Punk could just win the Chamber and then face, Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. But I do think they're going to give it to CM Punk, and then they're going to have kind of give Cody Rhodes another way to be like, put more obstacles in his story in the way, like, oh no, I didn't win the Rumble, how else am I going to get there? Well, then now you have to qualify for the Chamber. Now you have to win the Chamber in order to get your final shot with Roman. I think that's what they're going to do. But I mean, if Cody Rhodes wins the Rumble, it is what it is. I'm not going to complain. It ain't, again, going to be shocking. It's fine. But I think they probably want to go with somebody different. And me personally, I always like it when somebody else wins it. That's number one. And obviously, it's got to be CM Punk. I mean, Gunther would have been a choice, but honestly, he's not, especially with the plans now with Punk and all that. And like I said, we don't know what's going on with Gunther, and he's going to still fight Lesnar and whatnot, and all that. But yeah, so I'm going to say CM Punk, but like I said, Cody Rhodes is right there, like right there. So like I said, it's obviously going to be Punk or Rhodes, but I'm going to say Punk.
Yeah. No, I like your idea there. I just think it's going to be easier for them in regards to booking Cody to be able to face Roman Reigns just winning the Rumble, and that's just how that's done. And then finding a way and a path for Seth Rollins and CM Punk to face. I know we got the news, or Seth Rollins promo.
Yeah.
Raw in regards to his situation and his injury, but it sounds like he'll be able to still be at WrestleMania. He just won't, be at anything in between. So, I think. Well, yeah. So I think it certainly still can happen in regards to CM Punk and Seth Rollins be able to face each other at WrestleMania. But yeah, Royal Rumble, should be fun. Looking forward to the show overall. It's going to be, great to see some people in the past. We do have some of those like we do, for surprises and whatnot, and maybe even some NXT stars on the men and women's side in the Rumble matches, respectfully. And I don't know, it's going to be interesting for sure in its own right in that regard. But in regards to the Rumble, that's pretty much it I have in regards to talking about it. Went through the matches, predicted who I think is going to win. In regards to news and such, not too much in regards to my end to be brought up. I don't know if you have any topics or questions you want to bring to the table, but for me, I'm tapped out in regards to WWE or wrestling topics. I'm just ready for Saturday to get here. I'm ready for the Rumble. And go from there. But no, if there's anything else you wanted to bring up or a different conversation, but for right now, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it as well. Like I said, we already talked about the Royal Rumble. We talked a little bit about the Vince stuff, which was a big deal. Like I said, all I hope for is this Vince McMahon thing gets taken care of, and it's the right call to make. And then we can just enjoy Royal Rumble or officially road to WrestleMania because, like I said, hey, as football fans, our Super Bowl may be done, almost done, but then as wrestling fans, our Super Bowl is just beginning. So it starts with the Royal Rumble this Saturday. So I'm looking forward to just a fun Royal Rumble show. That's all I really want. I just want the Vince McMahon stuff out of the way and get it taken care of, and just be wrestling fans to just enjoy the product rather than focusing on the negativity of it. But it is what it is. But like I said, I'm looking for a Rumble. I'm hoping for 2 good Rumbles. I'm hoping for an overall good show, and I'm hoping for some good surprises. And like you said, hopefully, we'll hopefully know some more stuff in terms of WrestleMania plans with the Rumble. Because like I said, usually the Rumble is not just the winner; it's also planting seeds for future matches. And That we'll more likely get that. Like I said, we'll have to see what happens with the Brock Lesnar stuff, because that's going to be very interesting if he even shows up. Like, it's going to be very interesting with the crowd. But like I said, overall, I mean, I'm just looking forward to Rumble. I'm just hoping this negativity ends so we can just have a good show, and then we even have a better WrestleMania.
Exactly. Have a good show in regards to WrestleMania, and just be able to focus, on the shows themselves and the real life stuff going on, in the court system and whatever in regards to Vince McMahon and this lawsuit. Move on from him, move on from Brock, and be able to just, enjoy what is going to be Saturday for the Rumble. I'll be live after the Rumble ends with a big review with people who want to jump in or whatnot are available at that time. I don't think it'll be right away, maybe depending on what I'm doing, but so they will be shortly after the show ends, and we'll be going over what just happened at the pay-per-view event that is the Royal Rumble. Certainly gonna be great and fun. Tons of fun being able to to just enjoy the show, whether you're doing a live stream or whether a person just watching it themselves or watching live streams. But either way, it's always a fun time because it is the Royal Rumble. It's great. Great time of year, especially in April. April is the best time of year in regards to sports in general. You start the year with WrestleMania in early April. Then you have the conclusion of March Madness as well. And then later in the year, for me, on my birthday on the 25th of April, and then the NFL draft around that time as well. So a lot of things going on in April, all month long.
Yeah, don't forget about the new spring football league, the UFL, coming up in March too, late March. So,
March.
You guys are real football fans, check out the new spring football league, the UFL. I'm gonna be looking forward to it. Even though my Dragons aren't part of it, I'll still watch. I'm still torn if I'm gonna pick the Panthers or I'm rooting for the Battlehawks, but that's gonna be fun. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But yeah, like I said, you got the draft coming up. We still got a lot of international WWE shows. We got AEW coming up still. New Japan's doing some big stuff right now. Again, we're going to get big free agents like Okada and Mercedes Moné, see where they land. And like I said, we're getting a lot of positive, shocking, and disturbing news, and it's only been like not even a month of 2024, but this is just the beginning. Well, hopefully we get some big news coming up. And like I said, football fans, sport fans, you're just getting started. I know it's end of the NFL season soon, but like I said, you got the draft coming up, which should be big and all that, and spring football, of course, NBA, stuff like that. But of course, guys like me, I'm a big wrestling fan, so I got plenty of wrestling content for this year and all that. So, and like you said, I will be here. I won't be on here, but I'll be on my own YouTube channel, Godzilla Hawk, right there. I will be doing not one but two live reactions on YouTube. One for the women's rumble, one for the men's. So it'll be coexisting. So I'll be able to interact with any of my fans that are on here, that are in the contest. So hopefully I'll see you there, Steve, while you're watching the rumble. Hopefully you'll be in the chat on, and
I will.
Hopefully you get a good number, stuff like that. Hopefully you get somebody like a Gunther or something like that. You don't get something like a Nia Jax or something like that, or anything like that. But yeah, no, it's gonna be loads of fun. So I'll be doing 2 live streams. And like I said, I don't know when the Rumbles will start because I don't know how the match order will be, but I'll create 2 live streams, and then just whatever one they start off with, that's the live stream I'll go on immediately. So you'll see 2 live streams, but they won't be uploaded yet. They'll just be there just waiting for me to start. So just be patient with that. Again, it just depends on all that, but I'll get those probably set up tomorrow or Saturday. But yeah, so that'll be due on Saturday, and and then that'll be all the videos I'll do for now, at least from my side. I mean, I'll just be watching the playoffs, by myself and all that. No cameras or anything like that. I don't know if you're going to be watching the games on YouTube or anything like that, but I know the playoffs are coming up. It's going to be a big deal. But I'm rooting for my Lions. So let's go Lions.
Yeah, hey, I agree. Go Lions. Hopefully they can finish their story and be able to win a championship. For me, I also do.
I swear, if the Lions and the Denver Nuggets finish their story before Cody Rhodes, I swear to God. I swear to God, if the Lions finish the story before Cody Rhodes again, another second year row, I'm dead. Just a poverty team is able to finish their story first, like the Lions and the freaking Denver Nuggets. But
Man,
yeah, but it's gonna be
injustice.
fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, but for me also, I do media casting for PSF app, and so I'll be doing that starting tomorrow. Also with college basketball, the Wisconsin Badgers, the Packers. I did during the season, so that people can find me over there on PSF as well. But anyways, that will be all in regards to pro wrestling, in regards to the Rumble, as we did predict. I'll talk about other news items as well. So before we go, like into the Hong Kong, okay, Preston, let people know where they can find you on the social media and also find you on the YouTube, as you already explained.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, just Godzilla Hawk. That's my YouTube channel right there. You can subscribe and hit the notification for anything going. Like I said, 2 Rumble live reactions for Saturday. So if you want to be part of that, stay tuned for the contest as well. So anybody part of the contest, you could join in the live chat. We can chit chat. I'll be there hopefully with my best friend Brandon, who will also be in the Rumble, and we'll be doing live reactions again. So that's 2 on my channel. In terms of any other videos, it'll just kind of be a day-by-day thing. But you can go to my YouTube channel, subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at GodzillaHawk1 on Twitter. So if you want to follow me on there, you can do that. But that's going to be pretty much do it for me and my side of things. But take it away, Steven, for the rest of it.
Yeah, it's great to have you on. Like you said, first time being able to speak, in person, quote unquote,
Yeah.
In this way. Had a great time, and look forward to having you on again in the future, if not Saturday night or just in the future in general, on the road to WrestleMania for a prediction or preview of said show. And going from there, like you said, the Elimination Chamber at WrestleMania, and then shows beyond that, obviously, the whole year. So there's ample opportunities. But anyways, for everybody watching live, thank you. For those that are listening on Spotify, again, that's the Wrestling Ramble. Thank you. There is a bell, I guess, there too. Ring the bell there. Be notified when a video or when an audio drops, when something is posted there for Spotify. But thank you for those that are subscribed here. Ring the bell as well. Welcome to follow me on Twitter. You can find me at the Ramble_WWE. You can find my personal handle at Army_Strong. Let's try it again. Personal handle at Army_Strong_06. I'm also on the gram at Stephen K _06. For those that care and are on Snapchat, you're welcome to find me there at sports_guy06. And last but certainly not least, the TikTok at StevieK_06. Yes, I do like using the underscore for pretty much everything I use for usernames. But anyways, thanks for all that are watched, listened, and otherwise. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Enjoy Friday Night SmackDown tomorrow night, and then be prepared, be ready, do whatever you have to do right before the show. Have your dinners early, all that. Be prepared to go for a Rumble, or you just eat dinner while you're watching the Rumble. I don't care, do you? But have a great time. Whether you're hosting a party or you're watching all by yourself, it doesn't matter. Have a great time, have fun, and I'll be there in spirit with all of you, with the millions and millions of the WWE Universe, as we watch the Royal Rumble. And above all else, as always, take care.